The score at halftime here at Baltimore Memorial Stadium is Kansas City 31, Baltimore 7. And as you've watched the contest, the domination by the Chiefs of the Colts has been little short of amazing, especially with Otis Taylor absent. But the Colts did give their fans something to cheer about, as you just witnessed with that last play touchdown as the half ended. Now tonight, in accordance with our weekly programming and our ABC NFL Primetime Football Series, at halftime we're going to show you highlights of games that took place over the weekend. So let's begin with the Chicago Bears against the Philadelphia Eagles. Then we'll go to Detroit against Cincinnati, the Jets against the Patriots, and so on down the line. This is the stadium of Northwestern University, where the Chicago Bears are about to go against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Bears in second period action with the ball. Jack Concannon, the quarterback, number 11, looking for and finding Mike Hull, his receiver. It's a 7-yard gain. The Bears are leading the Eagles at this point 10-9. Now watch this. Quick pitch out. Concannon to Ron Bull. Bull on the option pass play. Southpaws it to Dick Gordon, who's alone in the corner of the end zone. The conversion is good, and the Bears lead it 17-9. Now we're in the fourth period. The Eagles struggling to come back. That's rookie Lee Bogus. Wide on a sweep. Getting good blocking. Spinning away for an extra 2 yards from that tackler. He's gained 10, and the Eagles are coming back. Once again, the handoff is to Lee Bogus. Look at that hole in the middle. He spins away from that tackler, bursts through another, and the touchdown is scored. So is the conversion, and it's Chicago 17, Philadelphia 16. But the Bears add a field goal, and they win it 20-16. This is Tiger Stadium in Detroit. The Lions about to go against the Bengals. They dominate early. This is the second period. Already they're ahead 24-0. And the Bengals quarterback, Sam Whitey, is blindsided by the safety blitz of Tommy Vaughn. Now Cincinnati must kick. Watch this play closely. The punt is made. The ball is apparently about to roll dead, surrounded by Bengals. But no, the alert Lem Barney picks it up, skirts past the stunned Cincinnati defenders, goes down unhampered along the sidelines for 61 yards and a Lions score. That made it 31-0. The final, a 38-3 rout, Detroit over Cincinnati. These are the Boston Patriots. The place, Harvard Field, Cambridge, Massachusetts. The Jets have the ball against the Patriots. Namath hands off to Emerson Boozer, number 32. He scores. This is in the second period. That makes it Jets 14, Boston 7. Now we move to the third quarter. Mike Tolliver throwing for Bake Turner. The ball picked off on the Patriots' 36-yard line by Early Thomas, the rookie cornerback from Colorado State. And he jaunts in for the touchdown. That made it 28-7. Still, Tolliver tried to bring the Patriots back. This is a piece of extraordinary individual effort by number 34, Ron Sellers. The ball has been touched by Steve Cannon, number 21. Sellers picked it off for the touchdown. What a player he is from Florida State. But the final score, Jets 31 and Boston 21. This is Busch Stadium, St. Louis. The Washington Redskins against the St. Louis Cardinals. The Redskins getting an early 10-0 lead. Jim Hart, number 17, Cardinal quarterback, trying to bring his ball club back. Unable to find a receiver. Moves on downfield. That is violent. Jim Hart was hurt, had to leave the ball game. His place taken by number 10, Pete Beathard, who came from Houston in an off-season deal. On the very next play, after the Hart injury, Beathard hands off to MacArthur Lane. Gets the blocking, gets the hole, bursts through. Cardinals score, make the extra point. They trail 10-7. Now we've got 1:32 left in the half. Same score. And Pete Beathard passes to Johnny Rowland for the touchdown. The point after is blocked. The Cardinals lead 13-10. Now we're in the third quarter. Sonny Jurgensen passing, but Miller Foreign, number 20, coming to St. Louis in that same deal that brought them Pete Beathard. Takes it 19 yards on the interception, and the Cardinals lead 20-10. We've got 4:20 left now in The third period, St. Louis moves in for another score, a 1-yard plunge by MacArthur Lane. So it's 27-10. Cardinals declined a penalty on that play. The final score, St. Louis 27, Washington 17. We're back at Baltimore Memorial Stadium. The halftime score speaks for itself, 31-7. The Chiefs over the Colts, though Earl Morrall did bring the Colts back with a touchdown on the very final play of the half. And we'll be back with more NFL action right after this message.
This is Marlboro Country. As long as men smoke for flavor, there'll always be a Marlboro Country.
Cotton Bowl, Dallas, Texas. Tom Landry, Dallas coach to your right. Big Red Webster, Giant coach to your left. Now the action. The Giants are leading 3-0 in the second quarter. Fran Tarkenton stumbling but throwing downfield. And hitting number 88, Aaron Thomas, just 1 yard short of the goal line. Subsequently, Ron Johnson runs it in to give the Giants a 10-0 lead. Now you're looking at action in slow motion in the third period. Walt Garrison taking the ball on that pitch out, going around right end, moving in for a touchdown as he gets beautiful blocking and takes advantage of it, cutting back ever so slightly. This one gives Dallas the lead 14-10 because earlier Roger Staubach, the Dallas quarterback, had himself run one in for the score. Now we're midway in the fourth quarter. Watch this. You won't believe it. A double reverse. Lance Rensel, the great wide receiver who was a quarterback in high school, with the ball, throwing long and finding Bob Hayes. The Giants outwitted. Hayes makes the touchdown, and Dallas leads it 21-10. 22 seconds left in the game now. Staubach is passing. Again to Bob Hayes, back in the good graces of Tom Landry. Dallas wins it 28-10. Green Bay, Wisconsin, where so many memories are inevitably revived. 15, Bart Starr, faking the Donnie Anderson. Now throwing, hitting the gifted veteran Carroll Dale. And Dale goes in. Green Bay takes the lead over the Atlanta Falcons 7-0. Once again, it's Green Bay. Star to Donnie Anderson. Anderson moves in for the score. This was action just before the end of the half, and Green Bay was leading 20-3. But Atlanta comes back. This is the rookie, Sonny Campbell. He scores for Atlanta, and with the extra point, it became 20-10. Now we're midway through the fourth period, and Atlanta is storming back. It's 20-17 at this point, and Bob Berry hits Todd Snyder. Atlanta moves ahead 24-20. Score is still 24-20. It's late in the final period, and you're looking at John Horn, the quarterback, back at his own goal line, throwing deep upfield. Carroll Dale grabs it. The lone defender stumbles. Carroll will race unimpeded for the touchdown, and Green Bay wins it. A 76-yard pass play, 27-24 over Atlanta. So Green Bay is now 1-1 on the year. We're back live at Baltimore Memorial Stadium. You see the halftime score. The Chiefs 31, the Colts 7. Len Dawson having a brilliant first half, throwing 3 touchdown passes to different receivers. And Johnny Robinson with 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery and a subsequent 46-yard run for a touchdown, a Stenerud field goal. The domination complete until Earl Morrill replaced John Unitas, and Morrill came through with there's Earl Morrill right now with a touchdown pass on the very final play of the half, thus the 31-7 score. We now have 6 unbeaten teams remaining in the National Football League. They are, respectively, Chicago and Detroit and San Francisco and Minnesota and Dallas and Los Angeles. And, of course, a reminder, next Monday night, right here on ABC, 2 of those unbeaten teams, the Detroit Lions against the Chicago Bears. Right now, let's go back to Keith Jackson.
At NFL Monday Night Football, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Baltimore Colts is being brought to you by Marlboro Filter Cigarettes. Come to where the flavor is. Come to Marlboro Country. By Ford and your Ford dealer, who invites you to come in and test drive the 1971 Fords, the cars with the better ideas. And by Firestone, the mileage specialist. You're on the right track with Firestone. We'll be ready for the second half kickoff between the Chiefs and the Colts in just a moment.
Watch Night Slave, the intriguing movie of the week, tomorrow on ABC.
The halftime statistics, surprisingly even, really, in passing as Earl Morrill came on to lead the Baltimore Colts to a touchdown. And the story on Morrill's passing, as he came late in the second quarter, he hit 7 out of 8 for 75 yards. Baltimore had the edge in offensive plays and ball control, but Kansas City went for the bomb, and they had the big play from their defense, and they lead at halftime by a score of 31-7, and there is Don McCafferty, who has to be a troubled man. Remember that Baltimore beat Kansas City in an exhibition game 17-3. Lenny Dawson cranking up on the sideline. In that game, Baltimore intercepted Kansas City quarterback 6 times, but they have not had that kind of success here tonight, as the Chiefs have bombed them and lead 31-7. Now, it'll be most interesting to watch Earl Morrill. He will start the second half when Baltimore gets the football. See what this man of magic can do, or who can ever forget what happened in 1968 when he led the Baltimore Colts, that man right there, to the National Football League championship. The Baltimore Colts will kick off. Jim O'Brien will kick it away, and going deep for Kansas City will be Ed Podolak, number 14, and Warren McVeigh, number 6. And there's the rookie, Jim O'Brien of Cincinnati. He kicked 3 field goals for Baltimore and led them to victory last week in San Diego in a tough ball game. This youngster from Cincinnati did all right for himself in college, too. He was a great receiver, great wide receiver, as well as kicker. He is a rookie. There are 8 rookies on the Baltimore team. And here we go with the second half of play. And O'Brien gets it very high. And McVeigh is in the end zone about 7 yards deep. But he has a hole up the middle. And he almost got away. Jim Duncan caught him by the shoulder pad and slowed him down. And the Colts put him away at the 19. Havrelak, the man who put him down.
When you run it back from the end zone, Keith, the test of efficiency is to get past the 20-yard marker, which McVay in this case didn't happen to do. But the Chiefs have the football, and this is one tough team they play catch-up football against with their defense. We'll have to see what Baltimore can pull out of a hat when and if they get the football.
Lenny Dawson, the quarterback. They break off the power I. They give it to Warren McVay, and McVay is up across the 20 to the 23-yard line for a 4-yard pickup, and he was knocked down by Ray May, number 56.
Second down and 6.
Mike Curtis, number 32, his primary job is to stop the run. This time comes on the inside of Buddy, but he's so quick, so fast, takes a good swipe at McVay and brings it to the ground.
Second down and 6 at the 23 for Kansas City. McVay with the football. Goes up the middle. Fumbled the ball, but Kansas City covers at the 25. And probably E.J. Holub was on it. Bo Moorman was right there, too. Bob Grant, number 51, the man who made the tackle. New linebacker in there, outside linebacker right now for Baltimore. Number 56 is Ray May. Warren McVay has carried 11 times. He's picked up 46 yards for Kansas City in the game. Third down and 4 for Kansas City. Pitts and Richardson both are wide to the right. Wendell Hayes is hit as he comes to the 28-yard line. He is short of the first down. There's the demon linebacker for the Colts, Mike Curtis, leaving the game as the Baltimore defense does its job and will make Kansas City give up the football. Gerald Wilson, who averaged 44-plus per punt last year for Kansas City, will hit it from about the 15. Gardine is the deep man for Baltimore. Wilson's spiral, not too long. Gardine takes it at the 39-yard line, gets a hold, and then it closes. Willie Mitchell, one of the tacklers for Kansas City. George Daney, the man who locked his feet. We have a timeout on the field. Our score as we start the third quarter, Kansas City 31, Baltimore 7.
Now's the time to make sure you've got the kind of tires you need to go this winter. And look how much you've got going for you with Firestone's Town & Country Snow Tire. Now's the time to buy Town & Country's at your Firestone dealers Beat the Snow Sale. Buy one Town & Country at regular exchange price. And you get the second Town & Country at half price at your Firestone store or participating dealer. Use your Bank AmeriCard, MasterCharge, or Firestone Unicharge. Firestone, the mileage specialist.
The man who uses this glove is a pro. He's Brooks Robinson of the Baltimore Orioles, a pro who's played third base in every All-Star game since 1960. Ask this pro who he sees about home, car, and business insurance, and he'd tell you...
See the pro I see about insurance, an independent agent.
See the pro where you find this big I symbol. He's a member of the National Association of Insurance Agents.
The Baltimore Colts have the football. First and 10 at their own 49-yard line, and Earl Morrall is the man. Tom Matty, as we pointed out early, is not suited up. He is on the move list. He will miss 2 ball games. He has an injury to a leg. Earl Morrall, Sam Havrelak at a setback position along with Norm Bulash. Morrall gives to Bulash. And the big rookie from TCU shows you some muscle as he powers his way into Kansas City territory. He is down at the KC 42. Johnny Robinson made the tackle for Kansas City. A gain of 9, second down and 1 coming up. That was the first time tonight that Bulash has been able to break through for a substantial gain. He's carried 13 times for a total of 33 yards. Jefferson is wide to the right as Morrall goes to throw. Throws to the left side for Eddie Hinton. Emmett Thomas grabs him and drags him out of bounds at the 24-yard line. First down, Baltimore.
First and 10, Baltimore, on the 24-yard line.
An 18-yard pickup on the pass play, and Earl Morrill is building into quite a story out of this ball game.
Morrill's technique on a pass or on a drop, when he drops back to pass, he backs out from the center. Unitas, on the other hand, turns and comes back. Discuss that more a little bit later.
First down, Baltimore, Kansas City, 24-yard line. Morrill to throw, goes for the end zone. Incomplete. The pass intended for Eddie Hinton, and Emmett Thomas was right there.
Earl feels that when he backs straight back from the center on a pass, it gives him better vision into the secondary to see what type of movement the defense, what defense they're in that particular play. Unitas feels he can get back quicker, and if he turns a little bit and goes back to pass, he looks over his shoulder and still tries to read the defensive secondary. Earl is doing a very fine job of isolating one receiver on one defensive back. This is the primary objective in the passing game, to get one man on one man.
Second down and 10 for the blue-clad Baltimore Colts. At home, packed house. Morrill to throw. Looks for Jefferson. Aaron Brown and Buck Buchanan.
Tackle by Buchanan and Brown.
We'll take a look at it on a split screen. Morrill is going to throw to his right, or he's trying to throw to his right. He gets pressure there. It looks as if he's going to get away, and here comes the two big boys. It looks as if maybe Hinton was open on that route.
Loss of 11 yards on the play, back to the 35-yard line. It is third down and 21 for Baltimore at the Kansas City 35. The Chiefs are leading 31-7. 11:10 to go in the third quarter. But Earl Morrill moving the Colts. Chiefs are rushing. Morrill's pass is away. Haverlack, incomplete. A penalty flag is thrown downfield. Haverlack, the man for whom the pass was intended, was offended downfield. And it's first down, Baltimore, inside the Kansas City 15-yard line. Call it the 14.
Very strong tendency by a defensive back when he feels the receiver make a break to get behind him, to take his hands and push a little bit. And that's what Thomas did on that last play. And that cost him.
The head linesman, Burl Toller, was right there on the play. Morrill inside the 14, gives the ball to Haverlack. Jerry Mays makes the tackle on the youngster from Bucknell. Maybe a half yard.
Second and 9.
People have asked me in the past, how much difference does it make when you play in a field that has a baseball diamond, when you get down on the dirt? It makes a great deal of difference, in my opinion, on the running game, and it's a handicap to the defensive backs when they try to keep up with the receivers.
Morrill to throw. Loops it. Jefferson. Touchdown. No, he's out of bounds. No, sir, he's out of bounds. He might have had one foot in, but he did not have enough of the other foot in. And the touchdown is waved off.
We'll just take a look and see what we can find. Earl does lob the ball over Marcellus' head. I think he was all the way out.
Third down. Ball is just inside the 14-yard line. Kansas City's 14, and here comes Earl Morrill in relief of Johnny Unitas in Baltimore's home opener. Morrow going for Perkins, and the pass is too long. Ray Perkins, who had come on the field, replacing Jefferson, had gone deep into the corner, and the pass led him a little too much. Perkins had replaced Mackey at tight end.
Field goal attempt by O'Brien.
Now Jim O'Brien is in, fourth down.
From the 22.
Earl Morrill will put the ball at the 22-yard line. If he is successful, it'll be his fourth field goal of this new season. Penalty flag. Came from the umpire. Too much time. Or movement along the offensive line. Let's see which. Illegal procedure.
Penalty against Baltimore.
So that backs the Colts up 5. This time, Earl Morrill is kneeling at the 26-yard line. It's good. 10:05 to go, third quarter. NFL Monday Night Football continues from Memorial Stadium in Baltimore with our score reading now. The Kansas City Chiefs 31, the Baltimore Colts have 10.
This is where the noise is. And this is where the quiet is. The 1971 Ford LTD. The new Ford LTD is not only one of the strongest, quietest Fords ever, but also the most luxurious, with a beautiful new body frame design that presents a solid barrier against road noise. There is still a lot to be done about the noise out there. But we've already done a lot about the quiet in here. If noise is getting to you, take a quiet break in the 1971 Ford. Ford gives you better ideas.
Ed Podolak loosening up in the end zone for Kansas City. Warren McVeigh, the other deep receiver. And Jim O'Brien will tee it up to kick it off for Baltimore. So Earl Morrill, who is now 8 out of 12 in passing for 93 yards, 1 touchdown, but did produce another score for Baltimore to make it now 31-10, Kansas City leading. The rookie from Cincinnati hits it. He's got it high. It's not too deep. McVeigh will have a shot at it. He takes it at the 8-yard line. Oh. Ron Gardine, the rookie from Arizona, made a shoe-top tackle on McVeigh. And there's the value of the high kickoff. Good coverage downfield. The ball is spotted at the 17. Big crowd of more than 58,000. They have not reached their normal capacity of 63 plus here tonight because the temporary bleachers are not up, because baseball is not over yet for Baltimore. Lenny Dawson, the quarterback, with Pitts and Richardson wide to the left. McVeigh, having a good night, moves it out to the 23, maybe the 24-yard line before Mike Curtis makes the tackle along with Bob Grant.
Second and 3 from the 24-yard line.
Number 85 for Baltimore in blue is Roy Hilton. Number 47 is Charlie Stooks. That's Mike Curtis. In the middle, number 32. On second down and 3, Bobby Holmes tries the right side, jamming for the first down. He had to get across the 27, and he is close to it.
Here's another shot of Mike Curtis. Mike, number 32, and when your screen is filling the hole, you can see Holmes coming off tackle. Actually gets a lot of help from Grant, number 51. Curtis was in the area there. A little bit short for a first down.
So now the big crowd starts to root for the Baltimore defense to hold on. Ray May comes on the field. Big linebacker Billy Newsome is in there at defensive end, number 81. Third down, and maybe a foot. Holmes and McVeigh set behind Dawson. Holmes, Hayes, Wendell Hayes. He should have enough. Try to go over the top. It is a first down, Kansas City, and Hayes leaves along with Morris Stroud. So with the first down, McVeigh returned. Along the offensive line for Kansas City, Tyrer, Buddy, Holub, Mormon, Hill, Urbanus, the tight end. Mix-up, McVeigh gets the ball. Despite the mix-up, gets yardage. Moves from the 29 out to about the 33. Warren McVeigh in his third year from Houston. About 5'9", 180, 85 pounds. Carried 13 times, 52 yards so far in the game. 7-18, 7-17 is the clock run. Kansas City leading 31-10, third quarter of play. Second down, 7. Dawson to a long count, probably checked off. Throws. Pitts has got it at the 35, and he is knocked out of bounds by Jerry Logan at the 36.
Third down and 3 from the 36-yard line.
It'll be third down and 3 yards for Kansas City at their own 36. Fred Miller, Billy Ray Smith, Bubba Smith, Roy Hilton, Mike Curtis digging in, trying to make Kansas City cough up the ball. McVeigh gets away from trouble, but he cannot get away from Skip Bolts, who came out of the secondary on the safety blitz and got him.
Fourth down and 7.
Fourth down for Kansas City and 7 yards to go. The ball is marked at the 32-yard line. Gerald Wilson in the punt, number 44.
Wilson in punting position.
Single safety for Baltimore, the rookie from Arizona, Gardine. Wilson with a beauty. A beauty. Gardine goes all the way back to the 11-yard line, and here he comes. And he finds nothing but white shirts, and Daney made the tackle for Kansas City. 6 minutes and 7 seconds to go in the third quarter. Timeout, our score, Kansas City 31, the Colts 10.
One Schick Super Chromium blade just shaved these 17 professional barbers. Mr. Politi, did you shave this morning with a Schick Super Chromium blade?
Yes, I did. I was number 12, and I had a very nice shave.
Well, what number were you, Mr. Rose?
I was number 13, and it was clean and smooth.
Mr. Vinegar, you shaved with the same Schick Super Chromium blade?
Yes, I was the 15th one to shave, and it was surprisingly smooth.
Good. I see barber number 17 is just finishing his shave. Let's talk to him. You were number 17, Mr.
Vestron.
How was the shave?
Well, I never would have believed it. It was a nice, close, comfortable shave.
Now then, here's that blade. Chic super chromium with a pure chromium edge. One blade, 17 comfortable shaves.
Could the blade in your razor deliver 17 comfortable shaves? Chic Chronochrome, the super chromium blade that fights corrosion. You've got to feel it to believe it.
Kansas City 31, Baltimore 10, 6:07 to go, third quarter. The Chiefs jumped into a 10-0 first quarter lead. On Dawson's 48-yard pass to Richardson, Stenerud's 28-yard field goal. Dawson 13 yards to home, made it 17-0, then 24-0, then 31-0, and then Earl Morrall came on to get 10 points for Baltimore, 7 of them in the closing moments of the first half, and Morrall is back in there now, and Emmett Thomas has just picked one off. At the 37-yard line, down the sidelines he goes. He steps out of bounds. He steps out of bounds at the 14-yard line. So Earl Morrall gets bit by the same kind of a problem that was so much trouble for Johnny Unitas early in the game, the interception.
One of the strongest tendencies that you have to fight down as a quarterback that's way behind is I've got to throw, I've got to put that thing in the air, and that was just it was a bad pass. It was overthrown into a zone, and Thomas just drifted back, picked it off, almost went in for a score.
He did return it 22 yards. Kansas City's ball, 1st and 10 at the Baltimore 14. Hayes, the lone setback for Kansas City. Here comes McVay. Oh, my. Hilton almost had him. Look at that McVay go. He's all the way to the 9-yard line.
Out of sight. I'll tell you one thing. He stopped right in the middle of the stream and turned around and went back the other way. A reverse play. McVay was set up in the line in a double wing. Handed off to him. He's got good pursuit. You see Billy Ray Smith, number 74, coming over. Fred Miller, 76. He just stopped and said, I'm going the other way. I imagine Baltimore feels like that little Dutch boy. How do I get a thumb back in his hole to stop this thing? I tell you, get it going in one direction, it's hard to turn.
McVay turned what seemed like a sure loss into a 5.5-yard pickup. 2nd down and 5. For Kansas City at the Baltimore 9, McVay is caught and dropped at the 10-yard line. And it's Charlie Stoops, number 47, who did it.
They went at Bubba Smith then. And after the preseason game, Keith, won 17-3 by Baltimore, Warren McVay told Bubba, an old friend of his, this game didn't count. When we face in the one that does, we're going to sweep your end. And Bubba said, I got to see that happen.
McVay must be tougher than I think he is. You realize how big Bubba is?
The ball is on the 10-yard line. They've got to go right about the 4-yard line to get a first down. It is 3rd down and 6, and Dawson to throw. Then he has all day, gets it away, throws it into the next county. Incomplete.
Incomplete.
15 years in the league will tell you when you haven't got anybody covered, throw it at him, but throw it high.
While we're regrouping, let's pause 5 seconds to allow local stations to identify themselves. All right, 4th down. In the game, Stenerud. He's kicked 2. This one, he'll hit from the 17-yard line. He hit it fair and square, and hands go up all over the ballpark. The kick is good. 4:15 to play in the 3rd quarter. The Kansas City Chiefs now lead by a score of 34-10. And a reminder, Saturday night at 9:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Join Chris Schenkel, Bud Wilkinson, Bill Fleming for Ole Miss and Alabama from Jackson, Mississippi. Right here on ABC. The Rebels, with Archie Manning at the trigger, 2-0 on the season. Alabama, defeated by USC in the opening game, have come back to bomb the next 2 opponents, including a thrashing of Florida last Saturday. So it looks like Bear Bryant has the Crimson Tide ready for Saturday night's big one against Ole Miss. And you'll see it on ABC at 9:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Stenerud will kick off. That's Duncan. And Gardine back there with him, and Gardine's going to get it at the goal, a yard deep in the end zone. Here he comes. Oh, and there he goes. Number 70, Sid Smith, rookie from USC, the first man to get there. And Cesar Belcher, number 24, also in on it. Call it the 20-yard line. First down, Baltimore. Jefferson coming wide to the right. Earl Morrill, the quarterback. Haverlack and Bulash, the setback. Hitting to the left, breaks downfield. Morrill looks at him and hits him. And Eddie is dragged out of bounds by Emmett Thomas up around the 33-yard line.
First down, Colts. At the 33.
It seems that Earl's working with Hinton on Thomas over there, number 18. You see Hinton, number 33, just running a sideline or an outside pattern. He's going to be a very good receiver.
He's caught 5 for 60 yards so far in the game. Colts now have 13 first downs. That's Haverlack from the 33 to the 35. Jerry Mays, number 75. Brought him down.
Second down and a 7.
Big Jerry Mays, a 10-year veteran from SMU. Make it the 36-yard line. Give Haverlack 3 yards on the run, and Morrill back to throw on second down. Throws for Jefferson. Pass is too short. Robinson and Marsalis. Coverage for Kansas City.
Third down and 7 from the 36.
Next Monday night, 2 undefeated teams have at it in Detroit. The Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions. And you'll see it on ABC at 9 Eastern Daylight Time. Jefferson again comes wide to the right. Third down, 7. Morrill under pressure, cannot get away from Buck Buchanan. Big number 86. 6'7", 275, an 8-year veteran from Grambling. He drops Morrill back at the 22, and the Colts will kick it away. David Lee, as you look at the deep men for Kansas City, Mitchell and Podolak, David Lee is averaging 47 yards per kick tonight. And a fair catch called by Ed Podolak at the Kansas City 38-yard line, and there the Chiefs will have it first and 10. And Podolak, number 14, is apparently going to stay in the ball game, and he will work at a wide receiver position. Otis Taylor, hurt, not playing tonight for Kansas City. Tom Matty, hurt, not playing for 2 weeks for Baltimore. Tom Mitchell has been hobbling around all week, but Mitchell was running around and, in fact, did get in on a couple of plays in the first half.
On the 42. Correction, the 39.
Lenny Dawson is the quarterback. Podolak is in at a setback position with Holmes. Now they shift, and Urbanus moves out of the I into the tight end position. Pitch comes wide to the left. They give it to Podolak. And Mike Curtis got it.
Podolak carried, hit by Curtis.
Let's take a look at Curtis on the middle linebacker blitz. He's going with the flow. You can see Holmes go to his left. Curtis is reading the play, but it is a blitz. It's hard for the offensive center to come out and block the middle linebacker. He got a lot of support from Rick Volk all the way from his weak safety.
Clock running, time remaining in the third quarter. Kansas City leading 34-10. Loss on the play, 3 yards. Second down, 13. Dawson will throw. Screen to Holmes. Goes to the 41.
Holmes brought down by
James Bailey was in on the play, number 65. He's a defensive tackle, 6'4", 245. He is a rookie from Kansas. This Saturday on ABC's Wide World of Sports, 5/4 Central Time, motorcycle race of champions from Louisville, Kentucky, and the World Roller Skating Championships from Lincoln, Nebraska. Saturday on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Third down and 8. The pass complete to Holmes, and Holmes is knocked down by Bob Grant at about the 43-yard line, short of the first down. So the Colt defense holds. Aaron Brown, big number 87. That's Buck Buchanan, number 86. And Buck gets a drink of water because he's got to go back to work in a minute.
Going deep. Wilson back to punt.
Gerald Wilson will punt for Kansas City. Gardine deep for Baltimore. 20 seconds to go, third quarter. The punt is high, off the side of the foot, in the field of play, however, and Gardine trying to run it back. Could not, had no room. Downfield to make the tackle. Dave Hadley, number 23 for Kansas City.
First and 10 Colts from their own 24.
12 seconds remaining, third quarter. Baltimore has the ball. First down. At their 24-yard line. Haverlack and Boulash are set behind Earl Morrow. Haverlack with the ball. He's up to the 25-yard line as the gun cracks to end the third quarter. And after 3, our score, the Kansas City Chiefs 34, the Baltimore Colts 10.
Most Deadly Game, starring George Maharis, premieres October 10th on ABC.
We start the fourth quarter. A defensive substitution for Kansas City. Marvin Upshaw, number 81, in at defensive tackle, replacing Buck Buchanan. So Upshaw joins Brown, Culp, and Mays on the front line. The linebackers remain the same. Bell, Lanier, Lynch. For Baltimore, Earl Morrow, the quarterback. Second down and about 9. At the 25, fakes the ball to Boulash. Gets the pass away, the bomb deep downfield for Jefferson. The battle for the ball, and Thomas wins. He knocked it loose. Emmett Thomas, number 18 for Kansas City. Well, Don, that Earl can still hurl it.
That was a good, he threw it about 60 yards. You might mention, too, that Johnny Robertson, the free safety we've been talking about earlier, was right in behind Emmett Thomas, and that's his job, too. He protects deep. It was a long throw. Thomas did a good job then staying with the receiver. Earl has got to throw, and this is a very difficult situation for a quarterback to be in because obviously he has to throw, and Kansas City knows this, too. I expect we'll see maybe some stunning by the defensive line of Kansas City and the secondary playing more of a containment-type coverage.
Jack Maitland is now in the ball game for Baltimore. Jefferson was out. Mackey went back in, and Mackey breaks the signal and starts downfield. And immediately draws all kinds of yellow flags. 5 yards.
Illegal procedure penalty.
Well, Dan Sullivan took that one on the nose. That was a shot that it's legal, but Baltimore was obviously offside, and the defensive end was a little bit anxious to get in there. He gave old Sully a pretty good shot.
It'll be third down and 14 yards to go for Baltimore from their own 20-yard line, and there's Hank Stram. Got to be quite comfortable at this point, leading 34-10 with 14:53 to play in the ball game. Morrow's pass is away up the middle, intended for Eddie Hinton. Emmett Thomas again covering on the play. It is no good. Baltimore will have to give it up. Morrow now 9 for 17 in passing for 106 yards. 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
Podolak and Mitchell are deep. Dave Lee in punting.
Mitchell, number 22, Podolak 14. Deep men, Kansas City. David Lee to do the punting for Baltimore. Gets his kick away. Another good kick. He's a fine punter. Podolak takes it at the 42. Oh, look out!
What a spectacular run.
Fantastic run. We were all about to say about 3 different times, Ben, he's down. It was a good run. You'll see Protolac catch the ball and split the seam. The wall coming in as Mormon trying to set up for him. He does get a couple of good blocks. Now, the punter, David Lee, he's not really used to that tackling line. That's what you call the old bulldog. There's what you call your old bulldog, and he missed it again. And Podolak is heading for that end zone, but he didn't quite make it. A heck of a run back.
He traveled 54 yards with that punt return, and Kansas City has the ball. First and goal to go at the Baltimore 4-yard line. Dawson will throw. He loops it for Pitts. Touchdown!
That's keeping your cool. That's keeping your cool. Dawson took his time in throwing that one and waited till Pitts did come all the way across the back part of the end zone. He got some good pressure from defensive line. You'll see him shifting to his left. He came back, laid it out a perfect shot to Pitts as Pitts came in behind him. I think the nicest thing you can say is that Kansas City is really hot tonight.
Stenerud for the point. Dawson 9 for 12 in passing, 152 yards, 4 touchdowns, and the kick is good. So we have a timeout at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. 14:01 to play in the ball game, and it's now Kansas City 41, Baltimore 10.
When you fly to Hawaii on United, we give you something nobody else gives you. It's our free Little Corner of the World kit, including a treasure map, a book filled with Hawaiian history and culture, a discount coupon book worth up to $100. Everything to make our little corner of the world yours.
Many tires have only 2-quart plies, but Firestone champions have 4 full nylon plies. 4 nylon plies to fight road punishment. Get this strong 4-ply Firestone tire at your local Firestone store or participating dealer. Prices start at a low $10.95. Use your Bank AmeriCard, MasterCharge, or Firestone Unicharge. Firestone, the mileage specialist.
Stenerud will kick it off for Kansas City in white as the Chiefs run away with it, leading 41-10 with 14:01 to play in the ball game. The deep men for Baltimore, Gardine on the right, Duncan on the left. Going to give you another look at the work of Frank Pitts, an isolated shot of him as he cruised through the end zone to catch Lenny Dawson's 4th touchdown pass. Stenerud's kick, he didn't get all of it. He hit more tee than it did ball, and it's taken by Gardine up at the 10-yard line. And he comes back to the 32, and a penalty flag goes into the pile. Marvin Upshaw was the man who had a hold of him, along with Cesar Belcher. And let's wait for the penalty. It's apparently against Kansas City, and it's a big one, and it could very well be.
Face guard, I think.
Face guard, yep. Nope. Yep. Well, let's take another look at Frank Pitts.
You see Pitts' pattern as he came into the end zone. He's just trying to make his way across the middle. But he sees Lenny, and Lenny's in trouble. You see him stick that hand up. I'm going for the corner, Lenny. That's what he said.
Yeah, whatever he said was right.
Lenny hurt him, didn't he?
That's right. Up on the 47-yard line as Morrill comes to throw. Throws for Hinton, and Eddie's got it. And he is down at the Kansas City 39-yard line.
Tackled by Thomas.
A 14-yard pickup and a first down for Baltimore.
Ball is on the 39.
Earl Morrill, a 15-year veteran from Michigan State. Throws for Jefferson, and it is knocked down by linebacker Bobby Bell.
That was a fantastic defensive move by Bell. He did have his receiver open behind Bell, but Bell looked like he jumped about, I'd say 10 or 12 feet in the air and knocked that one down.
You woke up a lot of high jumpers around the country, I'll tell you, with that crack.
8 or 9. It was a very good move. They got good depth there. Kansas City, as I mentioned earlier, pretty aware of the fact that Baltimore's going to have to move the ball in the air. They haven't done that good a job all night.
2nd down and 10 from the Kansas City 39. Morrill to throw. Going deep for Hinton.
Oh,
no good.
One of those almost fantastic catches.
Johnny Daney, number 60. George Daney.
He's been busting those wedges all night. That's what's wrong with him. He's done a fine job on the kicking teams for Kansas City.
For Baltimore, 3rd down, 10. Kansas City, 39. Vogel, Sullivan, along the front line, along with Curry. Morrill has the Kansas City defense guessing. Penalty flag is on the field. The pass is caught by Roy Jefferson at the 30-yard line.
Pass complete to Jefferson. Flag on the play.
The flag went down before the ball was released. Marsalis covering Jefferson.
It appears that Kansas City was offside. Keith, I imagine Earl's trying to decide whether he wants to take the 5 yards and give him another down or take the pass reception. I think that was short for the 1st down.
Yard short.
Decisions, decisions, decisions.
Offside. Penalty against the Chiefs.
Ball is put down at the 34-yard line as Morrill does accept the penalty to make it 3rd down and 5 yards to go for the 1st down. Mike Livingston cranking up for Kansas City. He may be in at quarterback on the next series. Oops. In the backfield, there was movement. Jack Maitland moving before the snap of the ball. That drew all the penalty flags. The pass was incomplete. The youngster, a rookie from Williams College, number 23, obviously eager.
Penalty. Backfield in motion. Decline.
Now it'll be 4th down and 5 yards to go for Baltimore as Kansas City declines the penalty. Sam Haverlack goes into the backfield for Baltimore, replacing Maitland. 12:56 to go in the ball game. The Chiefs are on top, 41-10. 4th and 5. The Colts will try to get it. Morrill to throw. Gets his pass away to Haverlack. He is hit at the 29, and he is thrown back. He'll be close to the 1st down. He could not thrust the body ahead.
Timeout.
Jim Tunney, the referee, trying to put the ball down precisely where it stopped, so the chain will come on. Kansas City next week. We'll go to Denver.
And, Keith, we neglected to mention at halftime that Denver is unbeaten, 2-0, and Kansas City must catch Lou Saban's vastly improved Broncos.
As you can see, Baltimore is just that much short of the 1st down, and Kansas City takes over the ball. The Colts will be in Boston next week, and next Monday night we will be in Detroit to see a couple of those undefeated teams, the Bears and the Lions. Mike Livingston is now in the ball game for Kansas City, number 10 at quarterback. 6'4", 210, 3-year man from SMU. Maurice Stroud, number 88, is in at a tight end position. And Bobby Holmes has broken one. Fumble, and Baltimore recovers. Holmes broke it from the 29 across midfield, but lost the ball. at the Baltimore at the 49-yard line, and the Colts come up with it. And it looked like number 74, Billy Ray Smith, the 12-year veteran from Arkansas, was on the ball.
On the 48.
12 minutes to go in the game. Baltimore has it. They're on 49. Morrow gives the ball to Bulash. 50-yard line, 1 yard on the play.
Pretty good example of the speed that Bobby Bell has. You saw him come from a linebacker's position, and Bulash is running 9.5 or 9.600 as he cut to the outside. Bell was with him step for step. Made an outstanding defensive play.
Bulash was carried 14 times in the game, 34 yards. Second down, 9, Baltimore midfield. Morrow looking deep, throws for Mackey. Kearney defending, the pass incomplete.
Flag on the play.
Flag on the field. Sammy Davis Jr. guest stars with Danny Thomas in the new comedy hit Make Room for Granddaddy, Wednesday night at 8, 7 Central Time here on ABC. Penalties against the Colts. 11:22 to go in the game. Jerry Mays, number 75, indicating once that he wanted the penalty. Now Earl Morrow says something that stops any movement. Now to go the other way. So the penalty flag was thrown against Kansas City. And it moves it to the 35-yard line, where it'll be Baltimore's ball, 1st and 10. Personal foul.
Penalty against Kansas City.
Number 33 in the game for Baltimore at Hinton, wide receiver. Earl Morrow's statistical story. Jefferson is wide right. Morrow's pass, intended for Mackey, is incomplete. Jim Kearney covering, the big crowd yelling for interference.
Covered by Kearney.
Matter of fact, John Mackey's got a couple of words to say about it.
Talking about this crowd, there's a feeling of disbelief, which I feel from this crowd, like this is not the kind of game I expected. I don't think this is the kind of game anybody expected. Baltimore has not played very sharp tonight. Kansas City has been in control of the game since the very beginning, and I don't think the fans are that pleased with their hometown crew tonight.
2nd down and 10 for Baltimore. 88 is Mackey, 15 is Morrow. Jefferson is wide to the right. Maitland and Bulash the setback. Morrow to throw. Gets his pass away, and it is almost picked off by Kearney, intended for Mackey.
That would have been another one. He had a clear field ahead of him. You're right about the Baltimore fans, John, but putting the whole thing into perspective, Baltimore had tough going. They had to play catch-up football. They started John Unitas, who was, in fairness, hampered by the bad knee. Now the fans are booing both the officials and, to a degree, their own team. Earlier, they booed John Unitas himself, and you hate to see that happen.
Yeah, you really do. John's a great player, no question about that. And he didn't have a good night, and there's no question about that. But neither is anyone else for Baltimore as far as that goes. They really haven't played that well.
3rd down and 10 for the Colts as Morrow fades to throw. Loops it deep for Perkins, and it is incomplete. Double coverage is Willie Mitchell. Number 22 was back there, along with Johnny Roberts. So it brings up 4th down for Baltimore at the Kansas City 35-yard line.
You talk about playing a good game or a bad game. You know, it's oftentimes overlooked. The bad games seem to come when you're playing against real good football players. That might have something to do with it. There
are a lot of good ones out there in white, I'll tell you that. Baltimore, having handled him well in the exhibition game, got to be a little stunned by the way they've been dominated here in the game. Chiefs are dancing and prancing and almost offsides. Morrow's pass is away, and it's caught by Eddie Hinton.
I think you'd have to say Eddie Hinton's had a good night.
He has had a good night. I like to see him catch him in a crowd, and he caught this one in the crowd. He ran into Willie Lanier, number 63. It's a down and in pattern or a cross pattern. You see Thomas, number 18, coming in from behind him. As he's in the air, Thomas more or less pushes him and causes more momentum as they run into Lanier. I don't think Lanier moves an inch off his throne, middle linebacker.
The 2-year man from Oklahoma, Eddie Hinton, has caught 7 for 89 yards. Bulash gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe, and that's all. And that is big Aaron Brown, number 87, getting up off the top of it. The pass to Hinton was good for the first down.
2nd and 11.
When Hinton was at Oklahoma playing in the Big 8, Oklahoma, out of the 8 teams in the Big 8, was number 7 in pass attempts, and yet he led the conference in pass receptions, which is an indication that he's been a good receiver for some time. He caught 60 passes in his senior year for very close to 1,000 yards.
Bulash is out of the backfield for Baltimore, and Jerry Hill is in replacing him at a setback position as Morrill on 2nd and 11 throws. Hinton! Touchdown if the call is against Kansas City. The penalty flag is on the field.
It was against Kansas City. That was a beautiful throw and another good route by Hinton. So it's a 6-pointer for Baltimore. All right. And here that young fellow from Oklahoma comes again. You'll see Thomas, as he has his hands on him, that's all right there. When he got him, but when he turned, he grabbed his shoulder pad a little bit. And that is an interference call, but it didn't slow Hinton down. It was a good throw by Morrow. So we've got 6 points on the board for Baltimore.
And the second touchdown pass of the night for Earl Morrill. 9:39 to go in the game. Jim O'Brien is in. Hinton has now caught 8 for 110 yards and a touchdown, and O'Brien's kick is straight through the upright. So we have a timeout at Memorial Stadium, Baltimore, with a score now, Kansas City 41, Baltimore 17.
The man who uses this glove is a pro. He's Brooks Robinson of the Baltimore Orioles, a pro who's played third base in every All-Star game since 1960. Ask this pro who he sees about home, car, and business insurance, and he'd tell you...
See the pro I see about insurance, an independent agent.
See the pro where you find this big I symbol. He's a member of the National Association of Insurance Agents.
Mike Curtis is tough. He plays football hard. But he wants his hair to be soft.
That's why I use Brill Cream. A little dab leaves your hair soft, really natural, like it should be.
Brill Cream believes a man should be tough. But his hair should be soft. Brill Cream, the best-selling hair dressing in the world.
Baltimore's Jim O'Brien will kick off. The Colts go 51 yards in 8 plays to get the touchdown. Warren McVeigh, number 6, and Ed Podolak, number 14, are the deep men for Kansas City. O'Brien teeing it up, and remember, Saturday night at 9:30 Eastern Daylight Time, Ole Miss and Alabama on ABC. One of the great college matches of any football year. Onside kick. Vogt has it. And he is down at the 22-yard line, but they'll bring it back to the 44, where he picked it up.
You won't see a better one than that, John. Beautifully executed.
Perfectly timed. The reason it is brought back is the ball cannot be advanced unless it is touched by the receiving team first. But he can cover it. The ball is Baltimore's ball. It seemed as if they forgot about the onside kick on that one because I didn't see anyone covering for it. Both has great speed. Was a beautiful onside kick, and now Baltimore has a little brand new breath of life.
9 minutes and 14 seconds left to play in the ball game as Earl Morrow goes to work. Mays is after him, and Brown gets him, and Curly Culp is in the middle. So Brown, Culp, and Mays were all coming.
That's the fifth time tonight Brown has been in there to get the quarterback. And talking about that onside kick, Jim O'Brien yesterday morning at the Baltimore practice came over to the sidelines for just a moment, picked up some footballs, and said to the general manager, Don Klosterman, I'm going to spend the next 20 minutes practicing onside kicks, and so he did, and it paid off here.
Hard work always pays off.
A loss of 8 yards on the play. Ray Perkins, number 27, in replacing Mackey, has come to the left side as the wide receiver. Morrow back to throw. From the 48. Lofts it downfield for Perkins. Perkins was open. A penalty flag is down.
Another interference call against Willie Mitchell. Very aggressive young man, number 22 for Kansas City. He wants to make that ball club, and he's out there hitting.
I think they've called defensive holding up in front, haven't they?
And I thought I did such a great job of explaining that pass interference. Wish they wouldn't do that with me.
Well, I'll tell you, Willie hit him a pretty good shot as he came down the sideline. So let's take a look at it.
Penalty against Kansas City. 5-yard penalty. First down, Colts.
Take a look at it here as you watch the contact.
All right, here he comes. And that is a holding penalty. And you know what? I'm glad that happened because it gives us a chance to mention this. There's a difference between defensive holding and defensive pass interference. The ball had not been in the air, I suppose, when he grabbed him.
5 yards, automatic first down. The ball given to Maitland, and the youngster from Williams College sprints all the way down to the 22-yard line. 26 yards on the run by Jack Maitland, and Thomas brought him down.
Ball is on the 23.
8 minutes and 28 seconds to play in the ball game. Baltimore storming back here in the fourth quarter. They've got a long way to travel. They'll take a big storm. They put the ball down at the 23 where Maitland was shoved out of bounds. Another first down for the Colts. The linebackers were coming. Morrow gets his pass away right into the hands of Jefferson, and then it is knocked loose in a beautiful defensive play by Johnny Robinson. Or was it Marcellus? Let's wait till he gets up. It's Marcellus. Marcellus wrapped his arms around him and jarred it loose. So Marcellus leaves, limping some.
He took a pretty good fall, and it looked as if Jefferson may have come down on him when they both fell together.
Second down, 10. Baltimore to Kansas City 23. That is Eddie Hinton on the reverse. And Eddie Hinton, who has been quite a performer tonight, is down right around the 12-yard line.
Excellent job by Thomas as he came in from behind the interference that he had to slow Hinton down enough. Hinton did have some blockers out in front of him. We'll take another look at it. Here comes Hinton, number 33, around. You can see the blockers out in front. And there's Thomas, number 18, that slowed Hinton down and enabled the Kansas City pursuit to catch up with him.
I like the way Maitland handed off to him, too. That Maitland has come in there, and as Keith mentioned, he's from Williams. He's a player.
12-yard line. First down, Baltimore. Kansas City 12. Pass in and out of the hands of Mackey, and there's a penalty flag on the field again. Kearney was the defender for Kansas City against the Chiefs. Holding
penalty against Kansas City.
You'll see Thomas right on him,
First down on the 7-yard line.
And there again, he's got the defensive holding. He's pushing him, pulling him back. You know, the main difference between a holding, defensive holding, and interference penalty is the holding penalty is only a 5-yard penalty.
Ball is right about the 7-yard line. The handoff to Maitland. He's fighting. Oh, look at him. Put up a battle.
And the defensive interference penalty that I was going to tell you about is whenever the infraction occurs, that's where the ball is marked. So that distance could be any number of yards, depending on how far downfield the interference penalty occurred. The defensive holding penalty is only a 5-yard penalty.
Jack Maitland took the ball to the 4-yard line, moving it 3 yards. And as he emerged from the dust storm, number 84, Tom Mitchell, who has been hobbling on a sore ankle, is in at tight end, and Mitchell was scheduled to start had he not been hurt. Maitland, again, into the middle, short of the goal line. Got good size. He's 6'1", 210. Upton Bell, the personnel director, saying that they were tipped off that there was a fine football player up there at Williams, and they went up and had a look, and sure enough. Third down, goal to go, at the 2, Baltimore. Morrill to throw. Loops it. Mitchell, Mackey, incomplete. Kearney covering for Kansas City. So now it is 4th down and goal from the 2.
4th and goal from the 2.
6 minutes, 8 seconds remaining to play in the ball game. Kansas City on top, 41-17. Tom Matty not playing tonight. He is on the move list, or what amounts to an injured category, for 2 weeks. Jefferson has come off the field. The action stopped by the officials. Dust swirling up in that dirt track which runs around the outfield here at Memorial Stadium. Upshaw remains in the game. Buchanan is out. Brown is in there. Culp, Mays along the defensive front 4 for Kansas City. Lynch, Bell, and Lanier, the linebackers. Morrow throwing. Mitchell, touchdown. Tom Mitchell, a 4-year veteran from Bucknell, made the catch.
The old Colts are coming back. Good fake by Earl in the middle of the line. It held the secondary momentarily until Mitchell could come across the back of the end zone for the reception.
O'Brien will go for the point. Out of Morrow's hole. High snap. Kick is good. NFL Monday Night Football continues from Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. Our scoreboard reads now, Kansas City 41, Baltimore 24.
The 1971 Torino, the Ford that gives you better ideas for less. Make it better, then price it lower. That's the whole idea behind Torino. Torino's 3-speed automatic transmission can operate manually for extra control. The lean 6-passenger Torino's front power brakes are disc brakes for straighter, fade-resistant stops. And those high-back bucket seats aren't just buckets with separated headrests. Torino's 4-speed transmission comes with a Hurst shifter. Torino gives you big car options its nearest competition doesn't offer. Even a heated rear window defroster. On top of that, Torino is the only middle-sized car with this choice of roofline, sports roof and hardtop. And its longer wheelbase gives you a smoother ride. The list runs on practically forever, but time doesn't. So see your Ford dealer for the entire Torino story. Torino, the Ford that gives you better ideas for less.
41-24. Kansas City leading Baltimore. 6 minutes and 3 seconds to play in the game as Jim O'Brien tees it up to kick it off. And Warren McVeigh, number 6, along with Bobby Holmes, is deep for Kansas City. I think you can look for Earl Morrall probably to get the starting call next week for the Colts. Onside kick. And Marsalis covers at the 39-yard line for Kansas City.
Flag on the play.
And there's Sam Ball, one of the veteran offensive tackles for Baltimore, showing some of the wear and tear of the night and the time remaining. Penalty flag down. It's going to go against the Kansas City Chiefs. They were offside. Going the wrong way. The ball will be teed up on the 45-yard line. In the fourth quarter, Kansas City has had only 2 offensive plays. Baltimore has had, in the fourth quarter, 22. Following the news tonight, be sure to watch the Dick Cavett Show. Dick's guest this evening, Norman Mailer. Dick Cavett, following the news. McVeigh and Holmes are creeping up. They don't really expect O'Brien to hit this one. Well, he goes for the onside kick. It's got to go 10 yards, and it did not. It traveled 6 yards. So that's the penalty against Baltimore.
Seeing Sam Ball on the sidelines a while ago points up a fact that Jerry Mays, whom Ball has been playing in front of or across from all night, Jerry has had an outstanding game for Kansas City in their defensive line. Defensive captain, a 10-year veteran with the Kansas City Chiefs. Done a fine job.
Ball will move back to the 40-yard line now, and 5:55 remaining to play in the game.
O'Brien kicking off from the 40.
So let's see what Jimmy can do this time.
You can hear the Kansas City players say, look for the onside kick.
Wendell Hayes grabs it and drops at the 45-yard line.
Ball fielded by Wendell Hayes.
Wendell Hayes.
Johnny Unitas on the sideline.
First and 10, Kansas City, from the 45.
Mike Livingston, number 10, the quarterback. Lenny Dawson apparently through for the night, unless some lightning strikes for Baltimore very quickly. Stroud, the big tight end, shifting out of the backfield. Podolak. He's tough. He goes to the Baltimore 42-yard line before Tom Maxwell gets him down.
Tackled by Logan and Maxwell.
He is tough. He's the guy who said when he was a member of the College All-Stars a year ago when they played the Jets that the Jets were a bunch of fat old men. He's tough with the mouth as well as the body.
Ball is down to the 41, 15 yards on the play. He's been working all week at wide receiver in case he might be needed there because of the injury to Otis Taylor. They haven't missed Otis very much so far tonight. Bobby Holmes gets just inside the 40. Bailey, 65. Miller, 76. Grant, 51 for Baltimore.
You saw the picture of Unitas on the sideline a while ago with his long hair. For years, Unitas has had a crew cut. And I was talking with Bobby Boyd, the coach with the Baltimore Colts, and Bobby doesn't have much hair at all, and he was comparing his hairdo with Unitas. He said, you know, Unitas now has to comb his, and I still just wipe mine off with a rag.
Second down and 8 at just inside the 40. Call it the 39. Livingston to throw. Mark Curtis. Oh, did Curtis just missed him? And coming in from the other side, Billy Newsom, number 81.
A lot of blue jerseys in that backfield that time. We've mentioned Curtis many times tonight, but Mike is an outstanding middle linebacker. This is a blitz where he comes off of the move of the defensive tackle. He's taken a good, strong beat on old Mike Livingston from Southern Methodist University, and Newsom comes in to put the finishing touches on it. Newsom took a pretty good lick from Bubba Smith as he came across to help.
Loss is back to midfield. 9 yards. Third down and 19 for Kansas City. Chiefs lead 41-24 with 3:39 to play. That's Podolak. And Ed gets back to the 40.
Baltimore came with their linebackers that time, too. Baltimore, a few years ago, was known as a very high blitzing team. They blitzed a great deal. In talking with Dawson this afternoon, he says they really don't do that anymore unless they're behind. They blitz an average of like 15%, which is not uncommonly high. But I would imagine this last quarter, you'll see the Colts blitz quite a bit.
On 4th down and 9, Stenerud is in the ball game for Kansas City. He will try a 47-yard field goal. It's good. 47 yards. Stenerud hits one, and that runs the score up to 44-24. Remember, Saturday night on ABC, 9:30 Eastern Daylight Time, ABC NCAA football. Ole Miss and Alabama. From Jackson, Mississippi, Archie Manning and Scott Hunter. The Rebels and the Crimson Tide. One of the great college games of any football season. Jan Stenerud from 47 yards makes it Kansas City 44, Baltimore 24. It's quite a story from a young man who came over to Montana State University to do some ski jumping from Norway and became one of the most efficient field goal kickers of all time. Johnny Unitas, downcast on the sidelines. I was looking at the statistics on Stenerud. He was 23 out of 23 from inside the 20-yard line. Gardine returning the kickoff for Baltimore. Comes back to the 30. They'll give him to the 31-yard line, maybe.
Tackle by Stein. First and 10 Colts at the 31.
Those kickoff return and punt return men amaze me. You know, they have a running stride or a style all their own. It's a unique talent to do that. I guess mainly it's just take the ball and run as fast as you can and hard as you can.
Earl Morrill is the quarterback. Hinton wide to the left. Morrill wants to throw and throws for Hinton, and Eddie's got it. Fumble. Was he down? He was down before the ball came loose.
Now, this is an excellent pass as Earl actually throws the ball in a hole. You'll see Hinton come down again with Thomas defending. Hinton comes back across the middle. There's some linebackers in front of Earl. This is a very difficult pass to throw. You see the linebacker jump. That was Lynch in front. The ball came right in, and Hinton made another very fine reception.
We have a timeout with 2 minutes to play in the ball game, and our score, Kansas City 44, Baltimore 24.
While most of you like the taste of Benson and Hedges 100s, some of you really appreciate the 3, 4, maybe even 5 moments more they give you. Three, 4, maybe even 5 moments more than king size.
This is Big Al Hurt saying that you need only 2 things when you go fishing. Lots of Miller High Life and a little bit of luck. Hey, look at that, man. Big Daddy. That deserves a Miller. Hearty, robust, deep down good. Miller High Life, the champagne of beers.
That last catch for 23 yards gives Eddie Hinton a total of 9 receptions for the night, 132 yards, and a touchdown. And the story on Earl Morrall, you see. Earl came on late in the second quarter, and it's been effective. First down at the Kansas City 47-yard line. Morrall throws, intended for Perkins. It is intercepted by Emmett Thomas. He's hobbling along, and he is finally knocked out of bounds. That is the 4th interception, the 2nd for Thomas.
May have pulled a Charlie Horse, it looked like, in his leg as he made his cut there. I'll get a report on that in a minute. Earl got a little pressure from the defensive line. They were closing in on him a little bit. It looked like he released it possibly a little bit high. The ball may have taken off on him or floated a little bit. It did go over the head of his intended receiver. And you do that against this Kansas City secondary, and you're going to get it picked off.
The ball is on the 37-yard line. Kansas City, first down. And there's Emmett Thomas. Whoop, they're playing with that knee.
Yeah, they sure are.
Livingston, the quarterback. Podolak gets a yard. Emmett Thomas. I tell you, a loss of this fellow would really be a loss in anybody's secondary. He is a fine football player.
I didn't see him get hit on that knee. Possibly he may have turned it as he made his cut. I hope it's not his knee and it's just a Charlie Horse. You can work those things out. Those knees take quite a while.
Second down and 9 at the 38 for Kansas City. Livingston, number 10, quarterback. Bobby Holmes. Out to about the 40. And Fred Miller calls time, defensive captain, so Baltimore spends one of its precious timeouts with 58 seconds to go in the ball game. The executive producer of ABC Sports is Roone Arledge. NFL Monday Night Football, produced and directed by Chet Forte. Co-produced by Jim Feeney and Dennis Lewin. Co-directed by Lou Bopacelli. Associate Director Lou Frederick. Our technical directors, Bill Morris and Rolf Drucker. The engineering supervisor, Roy Robbins. Unit manager, Joe Bush. Assistant to the producer, Bill Yerrick.
Possibly an understatement, but I think the balance that Kansas City has as an entire team is certainly a key to their success. They've got fine defense, offense, and a great kicking game, and that pretty well covers it.
Third down and 7 yards to go for the Chiefs, and they're staying on the ground as Livingston hands it away to Ed Podolak. And again, Baltimore spends a timeout with 53 seconds to play in the game, and there's a gentleman at ABC who enjoyed his retirement party tonight, I am sure. To Henry Heed, after 43 years, is going to take it easy. We certainly, all of us here at ABC Sports, want to wish Henry the very best in those happy months of leisure ahead for him, happy years. The Kansas City Chiefs, who jumped off big early in the ball game, never really been in serious trouble in the game. Buck Buchanan, as a matter of fact, has rested the entirety of the fourth quarter. So Buck probably enjoyed it. And the Chiefs have a lead of 44-24. On fourth down, Gerald Wilson will kick it away to Baltimore with 53 seconds remaining to play in the game. End over end.